Hello everybody and welcome back to the United Stand. Amrabat, Erik ten Hag's new recruit, his latest midfielder. How is he going to transform Manchester United's midfield? Where is he going to play? How much is he going to play? What is he going to bring to this team? And how he could be a really crucial signing for us this season. Let's get straight into it. So I'm going to start off with Amrabat. So starting off with Amrabat and his stats and what he's going to bring to this team and how he actually fixes a lot of issues that we have currently. Because let's be honest, the midfield hasn't started off the greatest to start this season, and neither have been the results. Midfield, the most important place of the pitch. Amrabat is going to help to fix this. And we'll start off with the first one before we compare him to where he might be playing and the people in them positions. Starting off with passes into the final third. And before I reveal it, what do Man United struggle to do? What have Man United been struggling to do over the last couple of games? Very good at knocking the ball about in the defensive side of the pitch, in their own third. You know, Martinez, Varane, Onana. Very good at knocking about there. When we get into the final third, we can't keep possession. We can't get it to the final third half the time. It gets intercepted and our players can't hold the ball up. But luckily for us, Amrabat comes in and passes into the final third, 89th percentile out of all the midfielders in Europe. 6.71 passes into the final third per 90. It's brilliant because that is just going to inject something into Manchester United's team that they simply just struggle to have. Eriksen's really good at passing through the lines. Bruno obviously is as well, but retaining that possession and getting it into the final third, it's something that Manchester United is really lacking, and Amrabat can help to bring that. Next up, we have passes into the penalty area. Something else that we need, because we need to get the ball to the strikers. Højlund, even though he had a really good appearance against Arsenal, in the 35 minutes he was on the pitch, he only managed to complete 2 passes. He was trying to get the ball, trying to hunt it down, and he showed all the attributes, but there actually wasn't that many passes into the final third. Amrabat brings them into your passes into the penalty area, 77th percentile across all midfielders. Next up, crosses into the penalty area. This one I couldn't actually wrap my head around, and Højlund's going to be absolutely loving this, and anybody in the penalty box is going to be loving it because Manchester United don't cross it in often enough. And Amrabat, 93rd percentile across the whole of Europe for crosses into the penalty area, which I think is brilliant, especially considering the position he plays. Progressive passes, again, something that Man United desperately need. We need to be able to be moving the ball up the pitch, good at knocking it about, but we lose it when we get into the final third. And if you get a look at progressive passes, 85th percentile and 6.97, brilliant stuff. Progressive carries, this is the one I wanted to look at. Scott McTominay is probably the closest we have to someone who can carry the ball out from the back, and we all know he's not good enough, don't we? And Erik ten Hag knows that as well. Amrabat is going to be a fixed member of this team, and when you look at his progressive carries, that's exactly what Manchester United need. Bruno, brilliant player, not very good at carrying the ball. Casemiro can be slow and get caught on the ball. Eriksen, great progressive passes, and he can carry it, to be honest with you, but does he really have the legs? Amrabat has the physicality to shield it and get it up the pitch, and that's exactly what we need. We need that transition between the midfield and the attack, and Amrabat can help to glue that all together. Tackles and interceptions, because let's be honest, guys, he is a number 6. A lot of people keep asking me, is he a 6? Is he going to play as an 8? What position is he going to play for Man United? Is he going to play alongside Casemiro? Is he going to play instead of Casemiro? Amrabat is what Adam would call round peg in a round hole. He has played number 6 for the whole of his career, and last season he played every single game as the number 6, apart from one where he got moved into centre-back. So he is a number 6. But that doesn't mean he can't be utilised with Casemiro, which I'm going to move on to in a second, and that doesn't mean he can't help us up the pitch as well. But he is a defensive midfielder, he's a destroyer. Tackles and interceptions though, 42th percentile. You would expect higher for someone like Amrabat. Everyone's seen his slide tackle on Kylian Mbappe in the World Cup. But the reason this isn't as high as what you'd expect is because he's so intelligent when he's on the football pitch. He knows exactly where to be at the right time. So often, he doesn't have to meet them challenges unless he's in that crucial position, and then he will, as we've seen, across. If you've watched him for Morocco in the World Cup, you know he can make a crunching tackle. Him and Casemiro in the same team, it could potentially be a walking red card, but he can do it. But that stat there, sometimes, you have to do the eye test, but he's so intelligent, he gets around the pitch really well, and he's got the legs to do that, which Eriksen does lack at times. But that's what Amrabat's going to bring to us. He's going to bring that sturdiness in possession. He's going to keep the ball moving. He's not going to do anything fancy. By the way, in his last 49 games, he's only got 1 goal and 1 assist. So he's not a goal-scoring midfielder. He's not going to come in. I would like to call him the pre-assist is the assist before the assist. He gets the ball up the pitch, he keeps possession, he keeps it tidy, he's a tidy football player, and he's someone who could probably go under the radar, but he's a really integral part of the team. So, where is he going to play? Well, let's compare him to some players in his position. So, a lot of people are saying, Beth, you know, he's going to have to play Casemiro and Amrabat together. I nearly already started their names together. I had McFred, now we're going with Amrabat. Amrabat, I nearly said it already, but he can play with Casemiro, of course he can, because Eriksen, who I'm going to compare him to now, actually recently, different to Mason Mount we'll get into when he's played more games for Man United, but when Mason Mount plays, the manager wants him to play high up the pitch with Bruno. When Eriksen plays, he's playing as the deepest midfielder. Against Arsenal, he was the deepest midfielder, coming, getting the ball off the back four and moving up the pitch, and Eriksen's been good at that. But with Eriksen, we saw the best and worst of him at Arsenal in that game. Brilliant pass through to Rashford. He is someone who's going to get assists and going to get goals. He's more of an attacking threat than Amrabat. Brilliant assisting to Rashford to get the goal. 35 seconds later, he's not in the right spot to defend that Odegaard goal. It was his man. He lost him. He's not physical enough in there. Not switched on defensively. That's what Amrabat does bring you. He brings you that balance. So when Eriksen's playing the deepest lying role, which he has been doing, Casemiro's been also playing deep, but being a little bit more further forward than Eriksen, because Eriksen's better on the football than Casemiro, that's where Amrabat can possibly come in. And I actually think Amrabat could play as the deepest player, picking the ball off the back four, bringing it forward, progressing it, carrying it like I just spoke about, and Casemiro will still be playing in kind of conjunction with him as like two adjoining sixes, but Casemiro will be able to kind of help out a little bit more in an attacking sense because, you know, Casemiro can score a goal. In the final third, his passes between the lines can be excellent, but sometimes when he's deep and he's trusted with that role to bring the ball out, he can be very, very sloppy. So that's where Amrabat comes in, gives that defensive reassurance, but also, you know, can allow Casemiro to still provide his attacking threat higher up the pitch. But let's compare him to Eriksen on this one. I'll just get that up right now for us. So, passes into the final third, very, very similar, but Amrabat actually tops it for Eriksen. So he's looking for them passes up the pitch, which Man United need desperately. Passes into the penalty area, as I said, Eriksen's going to be a more attacking threat. If you want a goal-scoring midfielder, someone to provide in the attack, Eriksen's your best bet. But you want a balanced midfield. Bruno can do that as well. Crosses into the penalty area. Amrabat's absolutely bossing that with 96%. It's something Man United need to do more. Then you've got progressive passes, 93% Eriksen, 85% Amrabat. It's a lot closer than what you'd expect. Because look, Amrabat is a DM. He's an out-and-out six that's going to put in crunching tackles. He's going to get around the pitch. He's physical. He's tall. He's going to win headers. To bring that as well as, you know, his defensive capabilities, it's going to take Manchester United up a level. Progressive carries, basically the same, 67 and 66%. Good for us because Eriksen can carry the ball, but Amrabat's going to do it and he's going to be more physical in there as well. Tackles and interceptions. Now this one's a funny one because this is where you see the strength of Amrabat peek through. 5% Eriksen, 42% Amrabat, and that's not even that like high when it comes to defensive midfielder for Amrabat, and we're going to get onto Casemiro in a second, but that's where you're lacking. If you're playing Eriksen as your deepest player, of course there can be all different types of players that do this, but 5% on tackles and interceptions, you're going to get killed in them away games, you're going to get killed on the break, and that's what we've seen happen to Man United, but Amrabat is there to stop that from happening. So, when we're going to talk about the best midfield three in a second, next we move on to Casemiro, because a lot of people are saying Amrabat's going to be Casemiro's competitor, he's going to be his backup, and in certain games, absolutely that will be the case, but they can play together. But let's just compare them. So passes into the final third, Amrabat's higher, 98%, but Casemiro's still high up there as well for a DM. Passes into the penalty area, 74%, 64%, so very similar. Amrabat can get involved as well. Crosses into the penalty area, Amrabat obviously is on top. Progressive passes, Amrabat just passes over Casemiro in that as well. Literally only just, but he's there. Progressive carries. This is the main thing that Man United are lacking, that we don't have. You can see it is Mateus Nunes when they played us at home to Wolves. He was killing us in the park in this area. 66% Amrabat. He's going to be able to be that player that can carry the ball out and keep that possession for us so we stop getting hit on the break and manage to move up and actually attack the opposition's goal. Tackles and interceptions, you can see Casemiro absolutely killing it there. 94%. He is a monster and he's going to do that for you. Whether they're all successful or not, we're not sure. But them two together, kind of swapping and changing from moving further up the pitch, keeping possession, being defensively together. I mean, in away games for me, that thou shall not pass. You shall not pass if Casemiro and Amrabat are there. I think together, because you can rely on Bruno. You know, you've got Casemiro destroying, Amrabat destroying as well, but Amrabat progressing the ball out, taking the ball off the back four, moving it up the pitch. You've got Bruno, who's a creative machine, in the words of Kevin De Bruyne, and isn't a progressor at all, but can see them intricate passes and be that player that's going to create the goal in the final third. I think that would be a really great front three, especially when you're playing away from home, where I just think away from home, a midfield of Mount, Casemiro and Bruno is going to get killed on the counter-attack, and so is a midfield of Eriksen, Casemiro and Bruno as well. But not even just on the counter-attack, in possession, you want to be able to progress it up the pitch, which Amrabat can do. So, my best midfield three, you ask, and what is your best midfield three as well? Get in the comments down below what your best midfield three is. I'm prepared to, and this is where the comments start to get in when I'm about to get hate, but I back Erik ten Hag. I trust my manager. At home, by the way, I think Eriksen's been brilliant recently, I really do, and he has been better than Mount, but it's because he's playing a different position, he's playing deeper. Mount's been told to play further forward. At home, when we're going to have more of possession, when Erik ten Hag gets this system right, because it's a work in progress, I would still go with Casemiro, Bruno and Mount when Mount's fit. Or even Casemiro, Eriksen and Bruno, because I think, you know, you can afford to be a little bit more attacking and have more goal-scoring midfielders, attacking threats in your midfield when you're at home. Obviously, you can't take for granted any team in the Premier League, but Erik ten Hag wants to do it. He's bought them out for a reason. That's what I'd go for. That is what I would move to do. Or you could even play, you could, if it's, you know, if it's a team like Arsenal, Man City, you could move Mount or Bruno onto the wing, preferably Mount for me. I think Bruno has to stay in the middle, and bring Amrabat in to partner Casemiro. You could absolutely do that, but that's what I would do at home. But away from home, when we struggle and our away form against the top six is horrible, away from home, we have to play Casemiro and Amrabat. We just have to. I think that transforms our midfield and transforms our results as well. Spurs, we weren't too bad. Arsenal, we weren't too bad either, but there's moments in the game that can kill you. That Odegaard goal, I don't think it would have happened if Amrabat was in that midfield of Casemiro. I don't think we lose that game if Amrabat's able to even play 20 minutes, 30 minutes off the bench in that midfield of Casemiro. You've got the perfect kind of balance for an defensive, not defensive because you want to go and attack their goal as well, because you can be offensive with Amrabat, but you've got the perfect balance for an away game that's going to be really tough and rest on crucial moments. You've got Amrabat and Casemiro with that defensive security, and it gives it gives Bruno the freedom to get forward and excel in exactly what he's good at, which is being a creative machine. So that is where I'm at on that. I mean, for me, Amrabat, Mount and Eriksen are all competing, even Casemiro, you know, because Amrabat is a monster. In the Europa League conference final, he was all over Rice. We know how good Rice is. Morocco World Cup, he had a brilliant tournament. Ten Hag's brought him in for a reason, but it just adds a different profile to our midfield, a profile we don't have. So I think Bruno's an absolute nailed-on player. Erik ten Hag loves him. But all their midfielders are going to be competing, and it'll be good to see which works the best. But that's my opinion on home and away. Get in the comments down below what you guys think. Is it going to be Amrabat? Is it going to be Cassie Eriksen? Is it going to be, you know, Count? That's how you describe Casemiro and Mount's kind of name together. But what's it going to be? Get in the comments down below what you think. And it'll be interesting to see what Ten Hag does as well. But let me know what you think. This has been the Amrabat breakdown. I can't wait to see him play in a Manchester United shirt. Hopefully it's not too long away. Get in the comments what you guys think. Hit a like on the video if you enjoyed it. More of these will be coming out for you. Have a lovely rest of your day, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.